Working. I don't know if it's working or not, but hopefully it's working. Yeah, I look a little crooked. Kind of way the night's going. I hope. Hello? Anybody here? Hey, hey. Sorry. Just a second. Oh. Oh, you got 4 days left of Indiana there, huh, CJ? Cool. Hey, Josh, how you doing? Uh, kind of having a rough go at getting this thing set up tonight. First, I didn't have internet, and when I got you guys on, about ready to slide off. Oh, let's see if I can try this down here. There. Oop, nope. Come on. You'd think I was a first time trying to do this. Jeepers creepers. Oh, what the hell? I'll put it out there. Kind of a little bummed. Just found out that the race motor went out on the track. Ran good for hot laps. Went to start it up for the feature and it had a miss. Well, all of a sudden he's got a bent stud. So we're going to have to tear into that and find out what's going on with that. And trying to get a hold of him to find out some answers in that. And he's probably driving down the road going home, but okay, there we go. So find out when he can get it to me. It wasn't running hot. Only 6,100 RPM, and the one stud literally looks like she went. It's out of my control. Parts are man-made. They can and will fail at the most inopportune time. Yeah. Oh, hey, how's everybody doing? Mama Bear and I had a pretty good time. We went out for supper last night for our anniversary. And tonight we went to because today's our actual anniversary. We just went to a graduation and that, and I got back in time to actually do a live show with you guys. Didn't know if I was going to get to, but I'm here, and yeah, I just it's been a little crazy last few days, I tell you. Worked on that 95 Chevy. It was so dang hot that I didn't realize I was almost hey Carl. That I was getting overheated until late in the day. Then now I'm not working outside. Temperature's decent. So, well, heck, since I'm sitting here, it seems to be working. You're cooking on a girl. Whoa, hey, wait a minute there, Mike. You're cooking a girl. Okay. Oh, jeepers. Yeah. So how's everybody been? I guess it's been a couple weeks since we've done a live show, and let's see. Heck, it doesn't even show me live on. Yep, cooking on the grill. Yeah, Mama Bear been here, she'd be like, "Hey, what are you cooking a grill for?" Really? Can't even find myself on YouTube. That's how much, yeah. I had to do this, and all of a sudden I didn't have Oh, turn down the volume before it comes up. I didn't have internet connection. I couldn't even get the computer to connect. Oh, man. But it's working now. Oh, but anyway, yep. Hey, King of Cans, how you doing? It's been crazy. It's been real crazy. And Lily was cute tonight. She wanted to go with us to go to the graduation, so she was a very good girl for us while we had her. Oh, wow. Got it. You'll be busy then, CJ. Oh, you got yours fired. Cool. Yep. Yeah, Mama Bear and I, after we got done with supper last night, the place we went to, we didn't think we were going to get that much food. They brought out enough food that we could have fed the entire family. Grandkids, son-in-law and daughters, everybody with them. Like, holy moly. That was our dinner again today. Leftovers were good. Yeah. And I guess everybody's going to be kind of having fun trying to guess what that orange motor is. Well, that orange motor is the 283. That's what's up on the stand. I'm going to get that together and get that used up and get parts out of here because I'm trying to make room because there's supposed to be a couple more motors coming soon, hopefully. Okay. Oh, just the cat. I was like, huh? Yeah, enough to, yeah, it was really good food. Like I said, well, we don't celebrate being together 23 years that often, so we splurged. Probably shouldn't have, but hey, you only live once. Cat's mad. I haven't been out here to see him until now. Spent the day with Mama Bear and watched some videos, and boy, I learned real quick. I'm glad I'm not fixing our Cadillac. That car would have drove me insane. Yes, babes, we're here. I'm here now. I'm getting warm. It's cold outside, but it's warm in here, and I got the furnace shut off. Yeah, at least the 4.0 is going together. Yeah. Yeah, it usually creates problems. 4.0 is going together. Not too bad. Kind of wish that kit would have had another holder in there, then you could have done both heads at once, but that makes sense. Can't have tool sets that make sense, you know. Yeah, I think we're only at, let's see, 57 right now. So, yeah, it just... Then I woke up, like I said, I couldn't hardly breathe this morning. I found some of my antibiotics I had left over from that. Took those in my prednisone and starting to be able to breathe again. Okay, that... Yeah, I seen that, Josh. I seen you ended up having to get another car. Yeah, King, another guy down there, he tells me about your guys' heat down there. I don't think I could handle that at all. This 85 almost got me up here. Upper 80s, yep. It's cool here, Windsor. Yeah, it was cool here, too, today, Carl. Glad to see you finally back on the internet there, Carl. I was kind of wondering there for a while. Thought maybe you got tired of this crazy Iowan and moved on or something. Oh, man. Oh, now you got a nice smelling house now, huh, Mike? No. Oh, Kind of feel like a duck out of water tonight. Same movie over on the DVD, yeah. Oh, yeah, you don't want to set your smoke detector off. Dang nose. I can feel it. It don't want to go up. It don't want to come down. It don't want to go out. It just... sinuses, and then right here on the chest. And as you can see, I'm pink. Yeah. I know the wife's car, it gets notification for weather alerts, and county north of us under a flood warning. Been under a flood warning for the last 2 days. I'm like, we haven't got that much here. And I didn't realize it rained that much, but evidently it did. Yep, we did that last night, Matt. We went out to a very, very nice supper. Kind of surprised me. She's not really a meat eater, and well, I'll tell you guys, we had a prime rib special. I got the big cut. She got the small cut, supposedly. But when we got done, we started looking. I think they both gave us the big cut. There was enough meat there to feed 4 adults. We brought half of it home last night. And salad bar, and usually the other places we've gone lately, you get, like, you order an appetizer. We ordered mushrooms, mozzie sticks, and some onion rings. Usually you get like 5 rings, 5 of each. We're staying at the salad bar waiting for the elderly couple in front of us. His wife had Alzheimer's, and he stepped back. Oh, go, we're slow. I said, no, don't worry. You just go. We're in no hurry. And while we're standing there, the waitress said, oh, we're going to set this on your table for you. The wife and I looked at each other, looked at that plate. We're like, the appetizers alone wasn't enough to feed 4 people. I thought they'd be partial orders. Evidently, they were full orders of the mozzies and the mushrooms and the onion rings. Then one of the gals that worked at the place knew my wife. Wife told her it was our anniversary. So then at the end of it, our supper, they brought us a piece of cheesecake with chocolate syrup on it. Oh, that was it. We were done. So, yep. We did that last night because we knew tonight was going to be busy, and so yep. So Mama Bear. So we even had the supper for dinner today. That's really, really good. Just a second here. Sorry. Hi, Matt. Yeah, I'm feeling better. Just, I might have to go back to the doctor tomorrow to see if I can't haven't fully got over this sinus hacking crap, but moving a lot better. And I tell you, working on that 95, my friend that helped, he don't really like being on camera, and actually we were really, between him and I, we were just clicking along, getting things done. Didn't have time to pick up the camera because we were trying to get the truck done. I've realized I'm starting to be able to get up and down off the ground. Unfortunately, that started after I used that good insulin that was supposed to start helping take off weight. Got a hold of the doctor, and he cannot get me any more of that. And unfortunately, I think that insulin would have been great if I could have used it for about 3-4 months and dropped some weight. I think I'd been great, but can't get his hands on any more samples. And if he was right, that stuff was $500 a pin, and a pin was good for 3.5-4 days. So that's out of my question, out of my reach. So you got better gas mileage coming back? Well, oh come on, don't say bad connection. Yeah, the good stuff that's out there that could help me. I can't afford it. I just can't. Mama Bear tried winning the lotto last night, then that would have been, it made everything simple. Made simple for a lot of things. But she only had one number. I said that would have been a nice ultimate anniversary gift. So we keep waking up, keep plugging forward. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Other than, like I said, the breathing. Oh. She's finally starting to feel better too. She's not 100%, but she really thinks Mother's Day supper gave her food poisoning. She pretty much had the symptoms of food poisoning. And all right, Josh, you take care and enjoy that new car you got. I seen your post there, so hopefully it lasts a long time for you. So yeah, she was. Well, last night's supper's the first thing she ate since Mother's Day. Well, she's had soups and broths, and most of that didn't stay down. But last night's supper actually settled her stomach, and she did pretty good. So, but yep, 23 years. And I'm talking. I don't hide stuff here. We don't know what happened, but the race motor finally made it to the track. And Hot Laps, he said she ran hard. Ghost started up to go out and do the race, and it had a miss, so they shut it off. So in the time of sitting there from Hot Laps and running good, engine temp was good, everything was good. Somehow or another, a stud, one of the screw-in studs went, eek. It bent. I think I can bring up the picture. That one there, see, it's cocked over. And that one possible too. So, not sure what happened. I mean, that motor had an hour's worth of run time on it. And ran hard in the Hot Laps. And it wasn't even hot. It's man-made, it can and will fail. Until I get it here, I really don't know. Those were brand new heads. If they didn't loosen up the valve guides proper, it's hard to tell without having it here. So I told him he was going to bring the whole car. Well, I don't really have a place to keep his whole car safe. I'd rather just have the motor here. We'll put it on the stand right away, and then I can mess around with it. Yeah. I mean, he's had a tough time getting out there. His transmission he got, put that in drive, it didn't move. So he had to get another tranny. Then they got rained out last week, and then tonight he goes and said it ran really hard. And then matter of shutting it off, now we got that problem. So, and at 6,100 RPMs, that should not have floated the valves at all. So, until it's here, I don't know. All you can do is dig into it, figure out what happened. I'll do a leak down test on it, make sure the valves ain't bent. If the valves ain't schmucked and they're all sealed up tight, I'm going to have to see if the valves move up and down freely, and if they do, it could be just a fluke in the stud. Yeah, kind of bums me out, but what do you do? I mean, as my philosophy goes, it's man-made, it can and will fail. And that's all a person can do. So, that's right. Yeah, Carl. Yeah, I've got studs here. I've got extra studs. It's just I need to find out if I need to go back on the place that built the heads for a defective part. Did they forget that? I mean, these were brand new castings. They were virgin castings. I don't know if when he sat there and it cooled off, if things warmed up or clearances got tight, and then when he went to start it, that's when it cocked it. I don't know. Because, man, I spun it up to almost 6,000 RPM and it didn't miss a lick. Wish you could be a stud. So, yeah. And those valve springs are good for a 600 lift cam, and the cam ain't that big. It's like a 537, so it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. It just kind of goes with the way things usually go for me. Usually the customer stuff always goes good. It's my stuff I have trouble with. So like when I got the 95 going the other day, we went and had somebody come in to give us an estimate on the house to help finish it, because I cannot do ladders anymore. I can work up to about 7 foot off the ground and I'm done. I can't. So, and his wife calls, well, he's on his way. And I'm like, oh, well, my truck's getting a flat because my back tires are so thin. Back tires are so thin that the gravel road is now poking holes in them on my truck. So the spare that goes down over time is back on the truck. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, Ma, I'm driving the 95, so I took it to town and drove that around. And God, getting that thing running was like, I'm like, this thing should be the race car runs smoother than that. I'm like, and then find out 2 plug wires. Really? Well, the cap and rotor were shot too, but that's the thing about race shops. You can't. There's been $100,000 motors. They started them up and they popped right when they popped off. They blowed the bottom ends out. You just never know. That's why when somebody approached me going about into like Street Outlaws years ago, before Street Outlaws existed, I had somebody, because buddy and another friend and I had 2 pretty hot cars around here, and they tried talking us and going. I told them there's no way in heck you can guarantee anything, because he wanted to, kind of scary. They wanted us to lose 10 races, then win the next 20. I said, there's no way you can run a motor for 30 races like that and expect it to stay together. He's like, well, build it with the best stuff. I'm like, yeah, no. It would have been cool, but I just know from building them, you never know when a motor's going to blow or something's going to fail. And it's not usually, okay, if it was a bent stud tonight, that's a $3 item. It ain't like the crank went out the bottom end of the block. It's always the little cheap pieces that get you. And I was telling my neighbor, he was up here giving me a bad time on that 4.0 yesterday. He's like, oh, if I took a couple of those gaskets home, that'd really mess you up. I said, you wouldn't even have to take all those gaskets home. I said, just that one little O-ring would be enough to destroy this motor. He's putting it back in the package, making sure it's weighted down. He's like, I ain't going to lose that. And I said, yeah, if I would forget to put that O-ring on that timing chain follower, I said that wouldn't plug the oil plug gallery, and that would let the oil pressure go right straight to the motor and not through the motor. I said, so that little 10-cent seal would cost over $3,000. He's like, that's crazy. And he's looking at the retaining bolts on the parts in there. He said, boy, those are some small bolts in that thing. I said, yeah, they are. So, yeah. When you build a car from the ground up and you go through everything, when you start realizing that basically on the old GM rear end, the only thing that's keeping you from losing your car going through the corners is a little piece of 1/8-inch steel in a shape of a C holding your axles in your rear end. After I went to automotive school and realized that, my driving habits changed after I realized how the little pieces of a car is actually between the difference between life and death. Yeah. So, it ain't the big things like the rear end coming completely out of the car. It's the little C-clips and, yeah. Then doing reverse J drops. Yeah. You can actually spit a ring and pinion right through your back window of your old cars. Seen it done a couple of times. But, yeah. So, yeah. If everything went smooth, I'd really be worried. I'd be really freaked out. But, yeah. So, yeah, Mama Bear, she said I could come out and do the show, and I think she's actually over with the grandkids, and Lily was a good little girl. She was driving Mommy nuts, so that's why we took her. And as soon as she got in with Grandma and Grandpa, she was happy. Mm. Sorry about that. So it was the shock after all then, Mike, huh? Glad you finally found... When you showed me the video of what you were driving... No, Jason. That's the thing, that... phlegm or whatever I've got going on, that's what's been messing with me. That was... that was another reason it came out, because my cough syrup was out here tonight. So... But yeah. Yeah, let's see. We'll get out of the office here. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, the 400, it's still hiding there. Whoa. It's warm out here. Let's turn that one on, sit under. Oh. I'm actually kind of like this little green tote there. It's got little divots. That's a lot of the Ford bolts. I've already got them sorted out and figured out where they belong. And let's see. Come on. Sorry, don't mean to be. Come on. There we go. Now, when you sent me that video, Mike, of how bad that thing was shaking and your hands going like that, holding on the steering wheel, I thought, ay. That's good. Now you don't have to stop at every bathroom along the route now, huh? Right now is when I kind of wish I had this the 60 over 350 done. I could have loaned him the motor so he could keep getting out there, but it just... Actually, one of you guys, Camper Mike, I don't know if he's in here. No, not Camper Mike, Kurt Schmidt, Kurt. He goes, I think you've got too many fumes. You said in your video last night that you almost won my... You know, if I had to just do all with them on the engine stand, no problem. But as this is going back together, I'm kind of having fun putting it together now. Oh, that's hydrate right there. So... Yeah. Yeah, you literally had everything shook out of you by then. Well, 95. Cousin's happy with that. I've just had a lot of stuff going on in my mind. I mean, the house and everything else, and so sometimes I gotta remember, kind of practice what you preach, not worry about everything so much, and things will fix itself. It may not always be in our timing that we want it, but it always manages to fix things up. Oh, okay, Jason. Yeah, you weren't in here. That's the 283. That's the little 283. I want to get that together and that before. Talked to one person the other night, and he's like, "I need to get my stuff to you." I'm like, "Yeah." So I'm trying to get some of this stuff cleaned up so it ain't all sitting around. So I got some room in here. Seems like every time I think I'm going to be ahead on stuff, it just barely works out, and I want to get. If I can't get the shop area added on, I want to get another area about 20 by 24 added on to the east side of the shop. And that will be the engine assembly room and office. And then where I'm in right now, I could actually get to where I could put 2 cars in here. I literally could. I could actually have the Camaro sitting off in where the office. I'd tear the office out that's here now, and I could have the Camaro back in that corner, and we could start working on it and still have area to get vehicles in and out. So, but there's days I wonder if it's worth chasing for or what, but I ain't got nothing else to do. Oh, they haven't brought your bird back yet? Because, yeah, I'd like to get this 400, or one of these 400s built into something and run, because later this year, since we lost our local race driver, they're going to have an annual race for him. Basically, it's going to be Cheaters Night. Run what you brung is what they're saying. And I want to get a hold of the guy that's going to be promoting that and talk to him. If I build a race car and only ran it one time a year, that'd be one race I'd be willing to go to. This cubic inch limit stuff and all this, they've just ruined racing. NASCAR's ruined racing. There should not be multiple winners in one race. You run the laps, and whoever crosses the finish line, that's the winner. Not 4 or 5 winners during the race, no. That's just... And you know, it's taking the thinking out of racing. Guys, would you always think, hey, we could do this, the motor, to get a little bit more on everybody else. And now everybody picks up the... there you go. Well, if got somebody that likes him and wants him, maybe that might be a good thing to do. So, but otherwise, then that would be fun with this 400. That would be a good little fun motor to put in there. What, babes? You know, if our house cat don't keep screwing up, you're going to go home for about a week. Mama Bear drives a race car? Oh boy, that could get interesting real quick. That would be interesting. Now, what? You want attention, then you always get down to where I can't reach it, just like that. I don't get cats. They want to be petted, but when they start petting them and they drop to the floor, then yeah. Yeah, if Mama Bear was driving the race car, that would be interesting. Oh, I bet you that 421 is going to set you in the seat. Excuse me. That'll get you your attention real quick. And okay, this is one. This is what I want to try. I finally found, and I've got enough stuff, I think, to do it. A 400 block, a 327 crank with the 6-inch rod pistons with 6 1/4 inch rods. I figured up the cubic inch. That's going to make like a 352, 351 or so. And you're thinking, why would you want to build a 350? Oh, shut up, Scanner. That's what you would call an over square motor. Yeah. Very large bore, very fast wrapping. That thing should just literally scream. And if that's the case, I just got to find a set of 6 1/4 inch rods. I've got some 6-inch 400 piston rods or pistons. So, with domes. Yep, make it a solid roller. Yep. You'd have to. I don't think a regular flat tap would take that kind of RPM. That would be a screaming demon. Yeah, that one would be very, very fun. Just a second, everybody. Hate to step away, but I need to. Just a second. Sorry about that. Dang it. That's what I missed while I was gone. Sorry about that, everybody. Oh, Jason, that would be great. I know I wanted to try and get lined up with the Highway 20. Highway 20 as they were doing it and get the leftovers, but yeah, that was all spoken before they even started Highway 20. Oh, okay. Yeah, I bet you that 421 you put bigger runners on her, she'd even scream harder. I can hear the phone. I don't need it on me. But yeah. So this week we'll figure out what's going on with race car motor now. This week is hopefully 4.0 and the 454 done this week and out of here. It's working. The kids have finally got a routine and they're doing pretty good with it. They finally are working 2 different shifts, which Things are starting to fall into place. It just takes time. What, cat? You're a pest, you know that? Yeah, you know that. Come here. There. There. If you want to get up there, there you go. Yeah. See yourself? There. There. There you go. But otherwise, oh, we gotta get the Denali done too. Got the new fuel pump for that. That is. What's in this box? It's crazy what it cost. So, stay. Thank you. It's a big honking fuel pump. Yeah. That is huge because it's got the 6.2 gas in it. So that needs to get in. And it needs to stop raining for that. So, and there's something you got to transfer from the old, it says in the paperwork. But this one's complete, so I don't know why it's just in the paperwork that you got to transfer the fuel level thing. But it's in there, so I don't know. And it's even a true GM, so oh, get that. Come on. See, it's not scrolling again. Just a second, I'll catch up. I'm messing stuff. Come on. Oh no! Oh, when it looped it, it taped back over what you had already, huh? That's no good. I guess it must be too late tonight or whatever. I don't know. I really don't care. I mean, we've been going at it 40 minutes. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out stuff to change up the channel here and that, but I just can't. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to do, but you gotta be careful on how I do things around here. I have a pump you could use. Don't think I checked it. Ow, Carl. I know you've got your world's been turned upside down. I kind of look at it this way. If we don't have something to get up and try for, oh no. I guess if I didn't have the farm to come to, I really don't know what my health would be like. I really don't. I mean, I do the videos for you guys. I mean, the YouTube and coming to the farm and messing with these motors and, yeah, granted. Okay. Race motor. Oh, everybody's been thinking that. I've had a run of good motors. A lot of the motor builds have gone pretty much painless. You're going to get one once in a while that's going to fight you. Nothing is perfect in this world. And there's only been one perfect person that's walked the faces of this earth, and he is no longer on the face of this earth. Things happen. They're out of control. But you got to have a reason to keep getting up. And you just got yourself a nice Nova. You sell all that stuff. What are you going to have to live for, bud? I know we got our wives. We got family in that. But I'm figuring out the older I'm getting, you still got to have something for yourself to do for yourself and not the family all the time. Yeah, I know. But, hey, and I've told you before, for some reason in the Book of Life, it was written, it was time for you and your wife to move on from that place, evidently. We don't understand the timing. We don't understand the reasoning. But in the Book of Life, it was time for you to get out of there. Who knows what's coming up? Maybe there might be a wildfire that comes through and ends up burning up that whole area. Everything happens for a reason. And you'll get things straightened out. But, hey, but if you're going to sell out, I could use a Featherlight trailer. Sorry, I shouldn't say that, Carl. You've told me, others have told me, just don't give up. You give up, the devil wins. It'll turn around. Yeah, I'm bummed about finding out tonight that he didn't do as good as races as what he said. It ran hard when it was running good. I'm just. My wife knew I was thinking. She's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm just thinking, because I'm replaying everything I've done with that motor. Everything. The only thing I didn't do is, since those were brand new heads and they were supposed to be race ready, I didn't double check the guide clearance. And that may not be the issue, because looking in the picture, the valve springs are sitting at the same height as the other. So if it was a hung up valve, there should be different heights there. And everything's still on the same level. Yeah. Oh, flat tire on it, figures. Yeah. And Mama Bear even admitted she'd, instead of rather fixing up the house in town, she'd like to be living here on the farm. So would I, but anyway, Carl, you need your tools. We got a Camaro to fix one of these days. Granted, I got a lot of the stuff here, but... And then you got to bring a motor over for me to put together. I guess we'll run yours for 3 hours before you leave with it, though. So you don't call me up and say, hey, I got a bent push rod or something. uh... I don't know what to. I've noticed I'm not. Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. See? You may say you want to sell, but you're still moving forward on your stuff. So. Yeah, Mike, there's some people out there that don't understand, and tires only. If they drive faster, it wouldn't be flat. It'd be stay around. But yeah, I've noticed here lately, I don't know what I've done or what's changed, but I notice I don't get the interaction in the comments like I was. I know things have changed. Weather's nice. People are going out more, staying out later. But I'm like, oh, what the hell? They either watch it, they watch it. They don't, they don't. I really don't care. Yep. Buddy, when he says, "You sure it's out?" I said, "I know the sound it made. It's a bad U-joint." And when we pulled it out and finally found it, he's like, "Wow." And I don't know why, but it really does. And it had grease. I really don't understand why U-joints fail, but she was digging in, and when they finally started rotating, it made a noise. Sitting here looking around all the stuff here. Just. Yeah. And I guess I count my blessings too for being a big guy like I am. Oh, that's no problem. I mean, I am down to the point where I turn on Facebook and nothing. Once in a great while, I get a couple, but basically, I'm just sitting there watching YouTube videos at night. Hi, Brian, and thank you. Hey there, 88. How you doing? Hanging in there, just kind of kicking back. Just hadn't done a live show in a couple weeks. Figured I better get one before everybody thinks I've disappeared. Yeah, they know by the videos I haven't disappeared. It just this last week kind of got hectic and kind of got on me, and being sick don't help, and worried about Mama Bear there for a while. A couple of days she had me scared, but I knew she was getting really bad because she almost went to the doctor one day. Almost. And then she started getting better, and then, yeah. Hey, Flame Boy, how you doing? Getting ads on a life. We're moving. Actually, I'm moving better than what I did about 3 months ago. Well, thank you there, Flame. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, John, how you doing? Okay, Carl, you take care. Yeah, give me a call. I don't even know what time of night it is. I left my phone in the office. But yeah, you take care, bud. And don't give up yet. I'm not giving up. Uh-oh, John, what'd you do? I don't sound good. A flame right now, I've kind of got it under control. I haven't had too much trouble. 9 o'clock, okay. What year of Chevy are you getting ready to put the distributor into? Okay, Flame, that's fine. 10 in Michigan, yep, okay. Oh, okay. Well, I looked out on the 95. I actually got the distributor right on the first try. I didn't have to. Okay, 85. So you're going to be using the big distributor? Let's see. Alrighty. I suppose my other flat blade's going to be buried. Oh, here we go. So you're going to be using a distributor like this, right here. Is what you're going to be using, right? Okay. You got a vacuum advance on yours too? Okay. Ah, shoot, I don't have one. Anyway. Okay, you're looking to... Okay. It's locked out, that's fine. Wait, okay. What I usually do is get it to where when you look across the cap here, like this, from the driver's side of the motor, it's about a 90-degree angle. Come on. Come on, pop off. Okay. It's 90 degrees to the block. And then, number one, my channel, I do a little bit of everything. I started out years ago doing my carpentry, and then the carpentry didn't take off, and I went back to working on cars and building motors, and the channel has grown. Vacuum vents there. Number one, when you're looking at it, it should point to the front of the motor. So it should be like that. If you're looking down, there's your vacuum advance. And it should be pointing off towards the driver's side. Now, here's something for you to think about. Sometimes it's a pain to get this to drop down in. Now listen here. The drop down in exactly, and you're always down there fishing with a screwdriver or something. Here's a food for thought. If your spark plug wires are long enough, as long as you remember when the distributor drops all the way in, I mean, I've done it to where the distributor was in the back. You're dealing with a circle. The circle has no start or ending point. It's a continuous ring. As long as you remember where the distributor drops in, and that's number one, and you wire accordingly, you don't always have to line it up like the factory book says. You want to really screw with somebody's mind, do that and go racing. They'll tell you got the plug wires on, and then you reach in and start it, and it starts up. So, once you get it to fall into your drive and that, and if it's off a couple tooth, that's what you do, is you just wire accordingly. If your plug wires... wherever that is, that as long as you start with number one and wire accordingly, and you got long enough wires to get your adjustment you need for your timing, it'll work. But otherwise, if you really want to stick with the stock stuff, like I said, when you're looking and try and get the cap 90 degrees to the block, and that's okay, Flame Boy. And then you can have that pointed off. So, first time I looked at this distributor since I got it, it does look like a nice one. They come with that Chevy stuff I picked up a while back. Well, just kind of wait, and once I get to know you a little more, I can make you a moderator. I mean, I've got some moderators in. Okay, to get at the top dead center, if you don't want to pull the valve covers, you just pull out the number one spark plug. Oops. And if you got a remote starter, you got somebody that can Uh, we're okay, fine. Uh, Bump the motor over, and as soon as you feel it starts putting pressure on your thumb, and you see it coming up, then what I usually do, then you know you're on the compression stroke. Then I take a 5/8 wrench and get on there, and then finish turning until you get the timing mark on 0. That's without pulling the valve cover. So if you got a remote start, you can hook up so you can bump it until you feel it blow out on your thumb. Otherwise, what I do is pull the valve cover, have somebody bump it, and hold my fingers on the 2 rocker arms, and when they both go closed, then I see where the timing mark is, and then bring it to the 0 if it ain't 0. Okay, valve covers are off. Is it in the vehicle or out of the vehicle yet? It's out, okay. I understand. Well, then on the stand, I just take a 5/8 wrench on the harmonic balancer, intake on or off. If the intake's off, it makes it easier. But if the intake's on, I just roll it over. Okay, with it off, watch your lifters. Just roll her over by hand. If I had one set up, I would do it right now for you. I don't have anything that close. Just roll it over by hand and watch the 2 front lifters on number 1 go up and down. As soon as they both go down, see where your timing mark is. If it's a couple inches away, then just roll it on over until there. And then yes, 95, I did that and I got it right on this time. Because then that would mean your dot on the crank would be up and the dot on the cam would be at the top instead of dot to dot. When they're dot to dot and you drop the distributor in, you're 180 out. When they are dot up and dot up, that should drop your distributor straight in. So hopefully I didn't confuse you there. But yeah, just watch your 2 lifters go up and down. As soon as they both go close, see where your timing mark is, roll it. That should have it. And if you don't have your timing chain cover on, you should have your dot up on the crank, and the dot should be at the top of the cam gear. And then you should be able to drop it in and be done. And then there's another guy that showed a little trick with these old distributors. And when he says he almost, every time he does it, it almost fires. The magnet's in there. He says, what you got to do is when you got it in there and you want to get it close to, so it starts pretty much right on. He says, if you turn that distributor, all of a sudden you'll see the rotor kick. That means the magnet's lined up for a second and it tripped it. And once it does that, tighten it down. He says, I'll guarantee you it'll almost start every single time. So that's another help. So yeah, the 95, I didn't think I thought we were going to be pulling that distributor once or twice. Right. Yep. As long as both lifters are down, it should be at on the compression stroke, and it should be ready for the distributor to be dropped in. If you ever got any questions, just message me through YouTube and that. So yeah, I was hoping to have another. Well, I've got a Chevy. And I don't know how long you've been watching. My wife's got a 327 she's going to build here. And if that was closer, I could have showed you. But right now, I'm working on a goofball Ford motor, so. But, yeah, I got. Oh, I just kind of drew a blank there for a second. Oh, see the timing gears hanging there? Finally figured out why I couldn't find that. I still can't find it, even knowing the correct name. That's called the jackshaft gears. Still can't find that set. But we looked over the gears. We're just going to end up reusing the gears for this 4.0. That's all we can do. I want that motor in. I want that truck running. And I want it out of my yard. Yeah. Well, the biggest pain I found with that tool set is they should have had 2 of the cam positioner retainers with that kit. Because then you could have set both of them. You wouldn't have to do one at a time. It would have made things a lot simpler, but I'm not spending another $232 to get another kit to have an extra one. Ah, man. That was this weekend. Local shop sold out. He reminded me about that, and I forgot all about it. I could have went to the auction. Dang it. Full mechanic shop selling out. Closed up after all these years. Yeah. And I tell you, with that cam, yesterday when I was trying to get that cam into position, there is some major spring pressure on those things. Holy moly. Yeah, I'm not. And they said, now if I would bolt this driver's head on before putting that in position and then putting it on, I would have to buy another $100 tool to take the cam followers out of it so you can rotate the cam without opening the valves and bending them. Uh-oh. Well, I guess if somebody has a fire call, he'll learn real quick when they run that big 12-inch hose through his windows, huh? Or 6-inch or whatever. I think that'd be fun to do to somebody's car that's parked in front of a fire hydrant. Bash, bash, string her through. Yes, this 4.0 is an interference fit. Which also found out the Cadillac motor's an interference fit. I watched some videos on that. I am so glad I am not touching that Cadillac. The actual timing chain replacement is not hard. It's actually fairly simple. The 14 hours of removing everything to get to it would drive me nuts. They said it's going to take about 3 days to replace all that stuff. And when they're in there, they said, since it's on the warranty, it's going to get new cam phasers, it's going to get cam actuators, it's going to get cam sensors, all the gears, all the chains. And they say once they do the repair, they don't come back. It was about the 2010, the earlier 3.6s, the chain stretched on them. I'm like, great. Oh, Mama Bear knows. Her only complaint is, she says, they're not sticking me with a minivan for 3 days. She knows. Well, Ford's chain driven, Dodge and tread. Oh, let's see. What did he say? I missed one. Okay, 88. The way I the way I adjust my valves, and I've had great luck doing it, is a lot of guys say you need to lift them up and down. No, I just set mine and spin it. And when I get close, when I just feel that thing just start getting resistance, I go a half turn. When I first started doing motors years ago, I would go 3/4 turn, and you know what? I had so much trouble with that 3/4 turn. As soon as that thing gets resistance as I'm rolling it, I look where it is, and if it's not in a place I'll remember, I'll back it to where I can get a half turn on it. Done. For a hydraulic lifter. For hydraulic lift cams. I've done that, and I haven't had any problems since. Yes, I only use a half turn. It seemed like every time I used 3/4 turn, I was always pulling the valve covers off, and I'd have to back them off. A half turn, it seems to be right on. Uh,
14.5 gallons, 14.5 miles, 64,000.
oh! Yeah. I mean, I've seen so many guys counter try and say, "Oh no, that's not." Now I've been doing motor since 1983 for car motors and that anyway. So at first I did everything by the book, and then as you do things, you start learning and picking up. And it seems like every time I did that full 3/4 turn, I don't know if it was the manufacturers of the lifters back then or what, but I've used the half turn on all my motors that are hydraulics, and I haven't had any issues. I don't know. And then you got a little bit, there's a little bit of slack in there. What kind of intake you running there? You run an aluminum intake or cast iron? Yeah. Well, the new 5.3s, that took a little while to get used to. The 5.3s, all you do is torque them down. Now there is no adjustment in the new GMs. They either go or they don't. Edelbrock Performer might want to double check, but I think it's for the aluminum intakes. I think it's 35 foot-pounds. I think it's either 25 or 35 foot-pound that you need to torque the intakes down. Yeah, hydraulic lifters. Oh, hey, HRM. I didn't see you sneak in here. Sorry. You're not saying too quiet and too slow. Yeah, mechanical lifters, they're fun. Yeah, first I really thought I screwed up putting that cam in that 95 because I'm like, it didn't want to run right. I'm like, come on, it's got to run. Yeah, Rhodes lifters. Yep, I've had a few sets of those. Actually, I think I got Rhodes lifters in the Camaro, the Mama Bear's Camaro, and I don't know. They were brand new lifters, but I just cannot get them to adjust and work like they're supposed to. I found the new lifters I was going to put in there and take them back out, see if I could help that motor, but Camaro's just got a standard bore 350 that I saved out of a 78 Camaro. If you go back in my older videos, I got an old white Camaro that I drug home for a parts car, and it was a complete motor. It was a complete car, and actually, after I tore the car apart, I figured out the car only had like 25,000 miles on it. It was a victim of the soft cams back in the 70s. Yeah, solid rollers. I got to play with those yet. And the motor I saved out of that old 78. You got a 188, you cannot get the charge. With me tearing into my 188s, you might have a broken wire off the generator. Mice like getting up in there might actually ate the wire off the generator. You might have to pull the flywheel and repair the wiring for the generator, or it's just full of dirt and grass up in there. You might need to pull the flywheel, clean it, and either repair wiring or just cleaning it, and it should work again. Anyway, the motor out of the Camaro was stuck. Well, once I got it in here, before I tore it down in the old videos, you'll see I sprayed the cylinders with PB Blaster, and the next morning I had that motor rolling over by hand. And come to find out, a mouse had got in the cylinder because the plugs were out of it, so I figured it was probably rusted tight. The guy that I got the car from, he says, oh, the plugs have been out like 6-7 years, so I figured the motor was going to be junk. And actually the cylinders, except for the one that the mouse died in, where he laid and decomposed, made enough of a rust ridge that it stopped it. And by the time I got done, all I had to do is hone that block. It is still perfectly straight. There was no ring ridge in it. So it is a standard bore 350. And all we did is hot tanked it, re-rung it, put it back together, and got it running. And put in a new cam. Because here, and I've talked about this before, and if anybody knows anything about the old nylon timing chains, by about 40,000 miles, they were shot. Well, yeah, if the wire, if a mouse got up under your flywheel and chewed off a wire or broke the wire, yeah, you won't get any voltage. It may be producing it, but it may not be coming out the wiring. But anyway, anybody that knows anything about those old nylon timing chaining gears, this thing here, there you go. That's all the wear that's on it. It's barely got any marks on this plastic. So yeah, that was a low mile. And I got the old cam around here somewhere where the lobe was gone on it. So if my car broke down on a Friday night and I needed to be work Monday and it was timing chain, I would wash this up and stick it in just to get me to work, because it's not even, the chain was still tight. It didn't even have any slop in that motor. So that poor Camaro, if the dealer would have warranted the cam, grasshoppers, yep. Back in the day, that car probably had still been on the road. But when I got
15.5 gallons, mileage 27,700.
okay. Late model vehicles need to. Oh yeah. Oh really? Okay. Got a short to the disconnect. Great. Yeah, I just had my scanner updated this year again, and I guess it got 400,000 new codes and some more functions to it. I haven't figured them all out yet. So yeah. Yep, King of Cans. Camper Mike can tell you about it. He had a nice GMC and he dumped it. Come to find out, the motor had been re-bearinged and re-rung and all this, and the cam was replaced once, and that active fuel management system screwed up and couldn't get the lifter to stop rattling, so he got rid of her. Another guy has a problem with his. Started eating oil. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Oh, yep, the roller was starting to skid. Yep. Some brand new trucks. This year's models, when the local dealer got them in, they had 2 trucks in already within 3 weeks, getting new cams and lifters because the camshafts weren't hardened properly again. I'm like thinking, history repeated itself. Oh yeah, piston rods and bearings, that's right. I'm sorry, if they got to start replacing piston rods and all that, they should have just put a whole new motor in. And sent the old one back to the factory and say, hey, figure out what you guys goofed up. And, you know, look at how many millions of 350s that were made. And as long as the camshafts were made correctly, they all are still running. Now they're just sabotaging everything, so this old school stuff can't stay running unless you add a bunch of additives and blah, blah, blah. And that's one reason I converted the 95 over to a roller cam. Because I knew my cousin would not remember to add the zinc into the oil. And everybody's like, oh, just use Rotella. Rotella truck oil has now removed the zinc. Oh, you got 100,000 out of yours before yours went bad, huh? That's not too bad then. So. Yeah, I was going to show you guys this. I might have, I don't know. Oops. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Somebody made a racing valve cover. Oh, the cat's after the moth. Out of a late model valve cover. Like the paint job on it was worth more than the valve cover. Yeah, it just. The 2001 with the transfer case making noises. One question is, your transfer case wet on the outside? If it's wet on the outside, get a remand or go to the junkyard. As the noises it's probably making is because the little retainer spring in there, or ring, the lock that's supposed to hold it has failed, and after all the time, it now has hammered through the case. So if your transfer case is getting wet on the outside with the fluid, replace the transfer case. Because you could have your transfer case rebuilt, but you're going to need a new case, new half case to repair that problem. So at that point, you're better off to get a remand or a used junkyard one. I've yet to tear a transfer case out of mine. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Mama Bear let me out of the house and I got to do a live stream tonight, which that's okay. Oh, you know I should check my phone. A second. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I got up and walked in there to see myself in time walking away. Yeah, Matt had a real close call. If you guys want to go check out his channel, he didn't quite get it all, but fellow biker wasn't paying attention, and he ended up skidding her and laying her down and just missed the back of the 88 Quintana there. That had her close. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, make sure the drive shaft. Check drive shaft angles. Yep. Yeah, that could have ended a whole different way, because when you got off your bike and turned around, his bike, if it still had momentum, it would have hit you. Yeah. "2014 had a little less rubber." You wouldn't have done that. It's just the fact the truck had too much power, right, Mike? Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know where your moth went. I just noticed you were ready to play with it. Moth come in. The June bugs are out already, too. I hate those things. Sitting there in the house the other night, I heard this bzzz. Uh-oh, is that a wasp? Because I got to watch out for wasps, because Mama Bear's deathly allergic to wasps. Nope, finally found out it was a June bug. Yeah, he wouldn't fly out, and he ended up getting smashed. All right, Brian, you take care. Thanks for stopping by. I haven't noticed the stink bugs yet. Hello. Ah, come on, eyeballs. Hello, PLS. I'm not even going to try to butcher your name. I'm sorry. uh, I haven't noticed the stink bugs around here. Turned itself off. Santa Claus. No, not quite Santa Claus. I wonder how the traction control failed. Huh? Must have been a bad switch or something, huh? Hey, Kenny, how you doing? Yeah, I told him he was going to bring the whole car. I said, I don't feel comfortable having the whole car here. Just bring the motor if you want. Then we'll just put it on the stand and I'll work on it. See what the heck's going on. And the engine temp was only 180, 190, he said when he came in. Hey, Jamie McMahon. A scanner. That scanner I'm using up there was bought back in 1988. Yeah, 88. 87, 88. And the only way my scanner's got numbers is I've lucked out and known guys and people along the way and got the numbers. It's getting harder and harder. A lot of them are starting to, like, who just said? Oh, Matt, the Katana said, a lot of them, one local sheriff's department is now scrambling them. So it's getting harder and harder to. Oh, I guess it's raining. I was like, what the heck's that noise? I thought something was leaking. And it's, I guess something's leaking all right. The clouds. Oh, sorry about that. What did I miss? Come on, let me see. Oh, that's interesting. No switch for it, but yeah, it needed to be flashed. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, and I don't know if any of you caught. No, I'm in Iowa. I'm on. I don't know. He hasn't answered my message yet, Kenny. I told him I really don't have a place for the whole car. No, I'm on the west side of Iowa here. Come on, connection. For you guys that got these Chevys, they got the engine oil coolers. If you have the lines that are leaking and you don't want them no more, this entire piece needs to be removed. This had 2 brass plugs put in it. They just capped them off. When they did that, down inside there, you see that little bypass? That was the only way the oil was getting to the motor. The oil would come in here, and I'm not sure how it would come. Because I got to stop and think for a second. Dang it, where's the block? Yeah, that'd be on the side where the Oil will come from the oil pump, hit this side of it, go down, then it's supposed to go through this line here, through the end line, and then come back. But anyway, you cannot, once you cap this off, I could not get airflow to go from one side of the cavity to the other. That 95 motor, if any of you have watched that, and you've seen the old motor, literally had so much slime in it. That motor went about 50,000 miles, my cousins estimated, without any filtration of the oil. If this bypass works, all the engine oil went through that little itty bitty bypass right there to lubricate that motor. So if you don't want to have your engine oil lines on there, you need to take it off and convert it over to just the normal fat screw-on. Hey Joe, screw-on filter. So if you got one of these engine oil coolers on your vehicle, replace the lines, otherwise you will need a new motor soon. So yeah. And I sat there for a while one night trying to blow air back and forth and that, trying to get it to work. And yeah, that's part of the reason it killed the motor. I suppose with the temps, that oil going through that little bypass had to be superheated by the time it got passed through there. So with the oil temp running hot, which means the engine temp ran hotter, which means the reasoning behind the heads getting hot and the head gaskets burning out. So yeah. Okay, what he's. Oh. Okay. Your truck doesn't have ABS, but it's got the pump? That's right. On these newer trucks, even the 96s, 96, 97s up, you almost need the scanner to bleed the brakes after you do your brake work to get the air out of the anti-brake system.
Carroll County on the TBX, they advise they have John Bogue in custody. The brother Nick is there also. Nick advised he can transport him up to Sac County if you want him to.
Yeah, like the brother's going to take him in. Hi, Carmen. How you doing? Yeah. So that was another little tip.
Carroll did it if possible, so we can make sure he gets here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you want to meet him at the county line? Or outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the brother's really going to take his own brother to this. That'd be an interesting one to. Software in a computer, yep. Yeah. Must be your. So how you been, Joe? Haven't seen you in a long time.
81-4, Sac County.
Oh, your son. Okay. Okay.
That's why they'll get a deputy to meet with the PD and get him transferred up to the county line.
Left front row of Bird's Pants. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's good, Joe. I've kind of been busy. Somewhat. Working on your new toy now. Uh-oh. Sounds like fun. Yeah, I'm trying to get Mama Bear out here to work on hers and get that done. Yeah, this little 283's got a nice steel crank in it. That's the motor. That for the ones that have been wondering. That's the motor that's on the orange one on the stand. It's got a very nice looking steel crank. Doesn't even need polished. And according to the machine shop that honed the block for me, he said they even had that one set up too tight for the pistons. So that's a rash of motors I've had that have been bored small and then fitted too tight. I've lucked out and only had to have them honed. Yeah, somebody else brought that up. When is that there, Joe? It's coming up here soon, ain't it? Uh-oh. Yeah, is it working? I hope it's working. Oh, the weekend before the 4th. Okay. Uh-oh. Phone's dying on you, Mike. Not good. Let's see. That means July weekend. Oh, the 30th of June. That weekend. You got a 97 footer. I'm not real sure on the Fords there. I've never, all the Fords I've worked on, that we've converted. I haven't had. Yeah, just a second. I work my one story of working on two Fords. They literally were made 3 months apart. They were both 81 Fords, both 4x4s, and the one had a rotten body. The other one had a good body with a bad motor, or good body, bad motor. And the other one had bad body, good motor. So we decided to take and pull the good motor out and put in the other one. And I ended up changing so much stuff. Okay, Kenny. Yeah, me too, because I got thinking about that after he said it ran fine until he parked it. And after he parked it and then went to start it, that's when the problem showed up. So I'm wondering if when it sat there, if something got warmer. He said the engine temp was only 185, 190. And it just, something just ain't making sense here. I don't get it. But anyway, those two Ford pickups, I had to interchange so much stuff, it wasn't funny. And then there's been other times I've worked on other Fords and taken motors from the same model car and tried to put them in, and they still don't fit without a lot of changes. So about the best thing you can do is either go to a junkyard, find one that's been wrecked, that's got everything you need, and then transfer everything. Yeah, I don't. HM, I don't know if I don't know how long you've been here, but let's see. This is the picture he sent me.
What's the address? 122 Center Street.
You notice number The exhaust on number 1, it appears the stud is bent. Push rod looks nice and straight. The valves look like they're and it's got the guide plate, so I'm going to blow this picture up. Oh, Kenny. I just noticed something. Here's a bigger picture now. I can see there's pressure on that one, pressure on that one. I move over, look at the spacing on one that's not loaded. Well, that's what I wonder. I don't know. We're just going to have to get her here and tear into it. I mean, that's all we can do. It should not happen, and oh. Okay, cool. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, hey, I haven't seen K.L. Martin. There's supposed to be another swap meet coming up in Nebraska. Yeah, when we had the guy there giving us an estimate on working on our house, we opened up the garage and wife's like, oh, the Camaro. So I'm about ready to get the Camaro out and bring it out. Yeah, that's what I told him. He wanted to bring. I think he wanted to bring the whole car, but I think I'd be more comfortable just having the motor because if I could put his car in the shop, that'd be no problem. But yeah, that's not happening. I could put it over at my cousin's shop, but yeah, thank you, Joe. It'd be good. Maybe I can get Mama Bear to have a weekend off and get her away. It's supposed to be Mama Bear's in our time. Have the grandkids for a little while, sugar up, send home mom and dad, then grandma and grandpa run off, get away, so mom and dad can't bring the kids back when they're all sugared up. So. Oh. Okay. Yeah, the Camaro needs to be going. We need to have. It's time. Hey, Joe, if you come across an old 81 to 87 Monte Carlo, I know you kind of work at a dealership or something. If you find one that's cheap, let me know. Okay. Alrighty, cool. He finally got back to me. He'll bring the motor down tomorrow. Yeah, it was a hobby stock. Sorry that it keeps dinging on you guys. It's kind of cool. Go for a couple weeks, nobody's talking to me, and now all of a sudden everybody's talking to me. That's okay. I know it comes and goes, and that. Yeah, I want to get Mama Bear. I kind of want her to build the 327, then we put that in the Camaro, and then that'd be a little bit special. But she still wants to sell it. Okay, I see his reason. Yeah, you bet. Yeah, you want to get you trying to get me hurt, aren't you, Matt? Yeah, he thinks okay. Yeah, we'll do a leak down test with it in the car, and then that way, okay. Yeah, we can. I got my tractor running. We can always pull the motor. That's no big deal. But you guys, the ones that watch the motor install in '95, what do you think of my old tractor? It kind of runs pretty good once I figured out the ignition switch went bad. Okay, yeah, Kenny, if you're still here, he's going to bring the whole car down. We're going to see if we can repair it in the car. See what's going on. Then if we have to pull it, then we'll pull it here. Which that's no big deal. That's no big deal. Okay. So hopefully it's just a stud failure, and I don't know. Don't use the phone all day, and then it's dropping on. Thank God I didn't use it for the live stream. Okay, Mike, we'll be here for a while yet. Well, otherwise, yep. Like I said, this is where I wish that the other 350 was done. I could have gave him a loaner just so he can keep going. But oh man. Okay, so yeah, hopefully it's just a matter of replacing the stud and that. I got to stop thinking about it before it gets here. Just when it gets here, that's when we'll fix it. That's all we can do. Um. Okay, thanks for stopping by, HRM. Have a great week, and hopefully the weather's treating you decent. And I know it's going to be off to an early start tomorrow. Got a fuel pump. Got these two motors sitting here. I went down and out of here, and I'm really hoping that 350. It's just something simple. It just nice thing is the push rods are up and the guide plate's nice and straight, so that means the lifters are still in their place and that. So whatever happened after the RPMs. Well, yeah, I know what you're saying there, Kenny, but they're not allowed. That's the problem. And I got to check the rules. I don't even think we're allowed to go to bigger studs either. They're stuck with the 3/8 stuff, so I got to double check the rules on that. So that's where the rules kind of keep things to where I think they figured out they know there's going to be failures and that's going to make it hard for guys to run these open motors. But yeah, I would have loved to gladly put 7/16 on there. Yeah, these are IMCA approved heads, and 2007 Chevy Uplander. Can you pull the transmission without? I am not sure. I haven't had to mess with one of those yet. I'm almost thinking with one of those, you're almost better off just drop the whole works, get it out from under the vehicle, then do everything, then put it back in. Because otherwise you would need a engine sling of some kind, and I'm not sure if there's a place where you can set that on like the inner fender edge or what. I got one I made. Haven't used it. I've maybe used it twice since I made it, so I think I bought cheap steel and made it. I'm not sure on that one. Actually, I got it. Oh yeah, they're hanging right there. Okay, they're there. It's like, where's the bolts for it? Got me thinking about something. So I'm not quite sure how to answer that for you. You may or may not. Yeah, the IMC, they do, the IMC heads, they do allow the rocker. Oh, wait, that's right. There is no guide plates on those heads. So I'll have to see to make sure the push rod didn't get hung up or something then. That's right. Looking at that picture now, I just realized, yeah, those don't have the guide plates. Look at that again. I thought they did. That's right. No, they don't. That's right. They don't have the guide plates. They allowed the screw-in studs, but no guide plates. Okay. Now, here you go. There's what it's... That one cocked off like that. Which I'm thank God it didn't click down and knock the retainer out and drop the valve on us, but yeah. And from what I can see, there is no filings in the motor. So just wait and see what happens tomorrow. Okay, sorry. Trying to get lined up so I know what. Hey, Greg, how you doing? Hey, James, how you doing? Trying to get lined up to see what time he's going to be done with that car so I can. My phone is being. I spelled the word. What? I I don't think he is. I know he's got his transmission he had issues with, and then he finally gets out. But he was happy with how hard it was running. He said it was running hard. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm actually doing pretty good. I actually, if you guys notice, since I started this, the ones that have been here for a long time, I'm actually starting to breathe. The cough medicine finally has kicked in, and be sad if it's just a weak stud that bent over. I mean, but I'm kind of after now noticing, but I don't know where the intake valve is. That's why I haven't seen you. Sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I went to my cousin's oldest boy's uh, uh, graduation tonight. It was kind of nice. Got to see my aunt. I haven't seen her in a while. Looking pretty rough. She's on oxygen full time now. Um, didn't know being a cake maker for all these years could screw up your lungs, and that's what kind of happened to her. Basically got COPD from cake dust. She used to make a lot of cakes, lots of them. Wow, we've been at this all 2 hours already. Wow, cool. And it is, well, it's 10 o'clock. Well, it is 10 o'clock, and I'm going to have a car here early in the morning. Yep, the flower. Yeah, it's messed her up. And then she had a knee replaced. Then after getting the knee replaced, she got pneumonia really, really bad. They about didn't save her. And now she's to the point where she takes her oxygen off. She can tell it. So it's 24/7 for her now. Which My mom's side of the family, which is she is from, I think right now she's probably the oldest one from that side of the family. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, she looked good, but she didn't look as good as the last time I seen her. So, all right. Well, I guess I'm going to be starting off with a busy week. Hopefully, it will just be as simple as unscrewing the studs, putting a new stud in, and double check the push rods. I know I checked the length of those when I built that motor because I was worried about that. And, I mean, all the times I wrapped it on the engine stand and up at his place setting the timing, it don't make any sense. But he said the first practice laps he got with it, she was running hard, so. um, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I'm getting spacey. I don't. I. I guess at one time I told him I had thought about using his other push rods while they were hardened push rods, so I don't know. Because after we got the cam, I double checked to make sure. I don't know. If things don't go smooth, this could be the camel that breaks the camel's back. The straw that could break the camel back. I have to stay tuned. There could be a fire sale coming up. Just done. I just. things that get some of the stupid stuff I let bug me. uh, I mean, that's why I beat the hell out of them on the engine stand. I mean, not that I beat the hell out of it. I mean, I ran that thing and ran it just like it would. But it just sounds like after he said he had a good hot laps, and it was running fine. It's when he went to start it is when the problems showed up. So kind of makes me think when it was sitting there cooling off, did something get tight? Did something? You never know. All I can say is that man made it, can and will fail. It's all about it. Yeah, I can see his frustration. I used to race. I mean, right, yeah. I mean, if that would have broke out when he was out there under power, yeah, it would be a whole different story. And I built a hell of a nice motor for my cousin one too, and he took it out on the highway. Literally did a wheelie with wheel stand with the race car on the pavement, and the kid that was helping me, my hearing is bad. He said motor don't sound like it did before he did that, and I revved it up, and the whole pressure and everything was good, and I couldn't hear it. Well, when we went to the races the next night, yeah, it made 6 laps. Yeah. Brand new camshaft. The officials brought what they could dig out of the track back to us cam in lifters. So, and when I tore that motor down, because when I have failures, I tear them down. I'll find out what happened. I'll find out what happened. And when we figured out when my cousin did the wheel stand on that motor, he put enough pressure on the crankshaft and cracked the crankshaft. And number 7 and 8 stopped oiling. So, yeah. So, yeah, that was a brand new motor. My cousin was a little bit piffed over that, but you never know. Like I said, I've heard of $100,000 motors. They hit the start button, starts, goes, wham, boom, blow the bottom end out. You just never know. You just never know. So, going home tonight, I could go get my truck right now, start it, and it could grenade. You just never know. Yeah, 45 seconds. Yeah, you. And everything is. I don't think I did use these old push rods. I think I had to put in a set that I had. Excuse me. But, yeah. Hey, Greg, if you ever got anybody that has one of these engine oil coolers on the truck and they want to take and plug these two holes. Hit them over the head. Don't let them. Make them put the engine oil cover lines on. Nope, that's not the 396. It's the 283s up there. I want to get that little 283 built and out of my way. All right, Matt, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'm probably going to wrap things up and I'm going to go home. It's going to be a short night for me. I'll be back out here early to meet him and see what we can figure out quick with the valve train there and see what the hell happened. Yeah, that's what happened to the 95. That motor hasn't had filtered oil in Lord knows how many miles. Explains all the sludge inside that motor. Let's see, I haven't checked those numbers for a while. Let's see what. Okay, he's pretty cool, I think. I know the frustrations were there. I know the frustrations. Let's see. Yep. That'll keep you. That'll keep you busy. Let's see. Falling off. Well, I kind of wish I had 18 builds, but right now I want this Ford Con and the 454. Those two need to go. Yeah, it's still trying to get to North Carolina. I'm trying to figure out how to get down there and get that stuff. Sad thing is, all it takes is one or two good engine builds be sold, and things will be going good. Yeah, if I get rid of this Ford off the property and things turn around, yeah, there's definitely no more Fords coming in. Brake work, maybe. Anything other than brake works or wheel bearings, nope, take it on down the road. Go away. Yeah, I was hoping to be down there about the time you were, but it just hasn't happened. Oh, you did? Cool. At least it didn't end up in the scrapyard. Good, 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 good. Good. Well, it depends on your cam, your heads, your intake. Very conservatively, without knowing all the specs of all that stuff, you probably get a good 300 horse out of it. But depending on your cam, your intake, and pistons, and all that, that's just I'd guess without knowing between 275 and 3.25. Without knowing all the specs and how the block is prepped and everything. Friction takes horsepower, so the biggest thing I've been pushing lately with these engine builds is, yeah, and I've showed it in other videos too. I got brand new pistons, and I'll show you. You can't slide those wrist pins through there. A lot of guys think you can get a set of pistons, take them out of the box, throw them on the rods, and you're ready to go. They actually need to be fitted to the wrist pins. They need a little bit of honing. That wrist pin, when you turn the piston on its side, should just fall right out. If you can turn it on the side and it don't move, and even you, it's too tight. And so friction is horsepower. The more you free up your rotating assembly, the more you're going to gain. I mean, there's all these little tricks and knick-knacky things you can do to gain horsepower by reducing friction and everything. Yeah. And the last couple of motor builds I've done, I've gone the floating wrist pins. And I know the 95 I just put in my cousin's truck. You just kind of hear the wrist pin a little. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I know I've got floating rods in that motor, and you kind of tell it. See, that motor was kind of built to go either way. It either could go on the street or it was going to go and be a little sleeper motor. And the oil pressure's there. On the stand mechanical oil pressure gauge, it's got 75 pounds of oil pressure. According to the dash in the truck, it's only got 40, 45. But who knows how well the sensor is, the wiring in that truck. I mean, it's a farm truck. It's not like a farm truck that's made famous like Street Outlaws, but it's just an everyday farm truck. Throw the pails and get in with the shitty clothes and all that, drive it. So, yeah. Cool. Yeah, that that would be interesting to see. Uh, that'd almost be interesting to actually have one of my motors and be out cruising around and run up on him once. Uh, Roadkill. Oh, is that what they're doing now, Mike? I wondered. I kind of hate that they've breaking away from YouTube. I was kind of starting enjoying that show. Ah, okay. Well, guys and gals, I think I better go home, get some sleep, so I can hopefully make a quick repair on a race car and get him going again, and not have to pull the motor. Um, it is what it is. So, and I need to quit thinking about it for tonight. So, yeah, figures, lots of ads. Yeah, 78 with them, 454. Oh Jesus! That'll be a screamer. Oh, okay, that'd be one way. I've noticed that a couple of times, but anyway, everybody, I guess I want to wrap her up and go home, and that'll be great because I got to be out here first thing in the morning to call and keep the internet on out here. So I went to start tonight, and they kept saying I had no internet. I'm like, ah! So, anyway, thanks for coming by. All we can do is keep turning the wrenches, keep putting parts where they're supposed to be, and see if they stay. That's all that can happen. So, anyhow, y'all take care. Thanks for stopping. And hopefully, we'll be back on a normal weekly schedule. And thanks everybody for coming by. Good night, Mike, Matt, Greg, Matt. Yeah, I just kind of had heart failure there at first. Oh no, I got shut off. I know it was due today, but they're closed Friday, so. All right, y'all take care. Have fun. Hopefully we can get that one done and go from there. So take her easy.